Within every family, everybody has their role to play. And within a different world family, I am the holder of all things trivial, statistical, little well-known, interesting, fun, and unbelievable. Now, I'm sure everyone knows there's a Cosby/Different World connection. And what most people don't know is there were two actresses who were being considered for that role of Denise when the Cosby Show was originally being cast. The role of Denise came down to Lisa Bonet and this other actress. And when they gave the other actress the contract, she said, "Oh, I can't do this." And they said, "Why not?" She said, "Because it's a 5-year contract." And they're like, "Yeah, but this is Bill Cosby. You know who he is?" She said, "Oh, I do. I'm a big fan, but can't do it." They said, "Well, why not?" She said, "Because I'm gonna be a singer." They said, "Well, do you have a record deal?" She said, "No." "Why do you think you can sing?" She said, "Because my mother thinks so." Turned out to be Whitney Houston. What can I tell you? I think she was right. It was Marissa Tomei and this other actress that were being considered for the role of Maggie. 5-year contract comes out. This other actress says, "Can't do it." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I've been offered a movie." They said, "Well, are you starring in the movie?" She said, "No. The Cosby Show is a mega hit, and The Different World's gonna be the spinoff." And they're telling her, "Are you sure you don't want to do this?" She said, "No, I'm gonna do the movie." The actress was Meg Ryan, and the movie was Top Gun. A Different World is a huge hit in its first season, but it needs some refinement. Debbie Allen is enlisted to come on board to executive produce and direct and really infuse the series with her understanding of being an HBCU alum from Howard. To that end, there were lots of discussions about what to do with the current cast. Debbie really wanted to use Lisa's pregnancy as a storyline. And the powers that be said, no, Lisa Bonet is pregnant, Denise Huxtable is not. So the decision was made for Lisa not to come back. But Kadeem and Marissa had already been talking about they'd love to see Dwayne and Maggie get together romantically. And that was a storyline that Debbie really wanted to explore, but she was also told we weren't going to go that direction. So when the decision was made that Marissa wasn't going to be coming back, there were tears and people were crying. And Kadeem turns to Marissa and says, "Look, relax, Marissa, you're white. You're probably gonna win an Oscar." Yeah, that happened. It was a testament to just how talented Marissa always was and why she should have been allowed to stay with us on our show. Kadeem and I come to know each other because we have a mutual friend. I'm in Los Angeles and they're about to cast for the spinoff, A Different World from the Cosby Show. I auditioned for the part of Dwayne Wayne. Kadeem calls me from New York and says, "I'm auditioning for the Cosby spinoff for this character, Dwayne Wayne." I said, "Me too." Well, Kadeem went in first. All I knew was I heard a bunch of laughing inside the door. I thought, okay, he's doing pretty well. I walk in, and for the first time in my life, there were 40 people in the room. Like they had rows of people that were all just staring there like, "Make me laugh, funny boy." I was like, "Are you serious?" I had no idea. Completely froze. Worst audition of my life. Tank. Come out, Kadeem gets the job. Kadeem now has to move to Los Angeles from New York. But Kadeem is a hardcore New Yorker, which means he doesn't know how to drive. So when he comes to Los Angeles, he comes to stay with me. And I would have to drive Kadeem to work, so I was there every day, all the time. Everyone got to know me. I kind of knew production, casting, all of that. I then get a call. I got a 1-line role fee. Great. I come in and I do the 1 line. Like, I knew it could be done. Like, I took 20 minutes to get as much camera time as possible. They were all completely sick of me. They were like, "Get him out of here." So I run upstairs to the dressing room, minding my business. They come banging on the door. "Darryl, Darryl." I'm like, "What?" what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for the last scene. They were like, you idiot, we have to do it again. I was like, oh, I had no idea. The entire production is being held up. For me to get changed, come back, I walk into an entire set of producers, network, and everybody just staring at me like, we're gonna murder you. I mean, it was ugly. So, 2 weeks later, Keisha Knight Pulliam had to come do a guest spot on the show. But Keisha was underage and couldn't work a full day. So Robbie Reed calls me and says, would you come be a stand-in when Rudy comes to visit Denise but falls in love with Whitley? So, in order to be camera appropriate, they bought me knee pads so I could be on my knees, to be about that tall, to be an 8-year-old girl with a southern accent who had to climb in bed with Lisa Bonet and Jasmine Guy. And they thought it was some of the funniest stuff they had ever seen. After that, they called me like every week until they decided to cast a best friend for Dwayne Wayne. Kadeem and I auditioned together. We got chemistry together. You know, we're best friends. The audition was great. We rocked it. And then I was like, okay, I'll be outside in the car. Let me know whenever you're ready to go home so I can drive you home, because yes, I'm still his Uber. And from that point on, they would offer me a weekly contract for the rest of the series. Mike Tyson comes to visit the set, and Mike is driving a Ferrari or Lamborghini or something like that, and Kadeem says, Mike, can I have the keys? Mike's like, sure. Mike, he doesn't know how to drive. Like, he doesn't have a driver's license. Mike was like, I don't give a if he crashes, I just buy another one. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And so Kadeem is like driving right down the back lot of Radford in Mike's Lamborghini, and I'm thinking, I don't even know if it's a stick. I don't know if he's gonna burn out the clutch or whatever. It's just an average day on the lot. You're 20 years old, you're starring in a network television series, the heavyweight champ of the world is hanging out with you, you're having a good time, you're making good television, you're on top of the world. It was a magical time.